Okay, let's dive right into today's explainer, the missing piece, Cristiano Ronaldo and the World Cup. We're going to explore the profound impact of just one missing trophy on the legacy of literally one of history's greatest athletes. I mean, we're talking about a guy whose whole career is basically a masterclass in relentless ambition, right? Yet somehow it's defined just as much by the one monumental prize that always managed to slip through his fingers. So today, we're unpacking the reality of Ronaldo's international career, and we are going to ask the ultimate what-if question.
Section 1. The ultimate football resume. To even begin to understand the weight of that missing piece, we have to first establish the sheer monolithic dominance of his actual achievements. You just can't grasp the tragedy of what he didn't win until you realize the absolute mountain of what he did. Let's start with a staggering number, 5. 5 Ballon d'Ors. This represents absolute peak individual performance. In an era that was just packed with the greatest talents to ever lace up a pair of boots, Ronaldo was voted the undisputed best player on the planet 5 separate times. It's a crazy testament to his ruthless obsession with getting better every single day.
And we're going to add another 5 right on top of that. 5 Champions League titles. 4 of those came during his legendary run at Real Madrid, and that includes an unprecedented back-to-back-to-back streak between 2016 and 2018. Seriously, nobody in the modern game has matched that. He didn't just play in those tournaments, he absolutely dominated them, proving over and over that he could carry the crushing weight of the world's biggest clubs on his shoulders.
Now think about his international impact, 11 World Cup goals. So even though that ultimate team prize eluded him, his individual brilliance on the global stage is just undeniable. I mean, remember that jaw-dropping hat trick against Spain in the 2018 group stage? That goes down as one of the greatest individual World Cup performances ever recorded. When the lights were the brightest, he almost always delivered.
Stack all of that up and you get a mind-blowing 38 major trophies. His resume is so complete it honestly borders on the absurd. Domestic leagues, domestic cups, continental super cups. The guy has conquered nearly every single competition he's ever played in. For literally anyone else, a collection like this represents an unassailable, perfect legacy.
Now, what's super interesting here is how legendary manager Sir Alex Ferguson perfectly captures Ronaldo's specific brand of greatness. Ferguson, the man who brought a teenage Ronaldo to Manchester United and shaped all that raw talent, pointed out exactly what made him unstoppable. It wasn't just his fancy stepovers, it was his courage. Ferguson noted that his consistency and excellence were never, ever dented by a tackle. He just kept getting back up and demanding the ball again and again.
Section 2. 2 philosophies. Messi versus Ronaldo.
So, how does all this build into the defining rivalry of a generation, the one that split fans, pundits, and honestly entire countries? Well, this debate isn't just about who is the better player. It's an ideological choice between 2 totally different approaches to greatness. On one side, you have Lionel Messi, the effortless genius, the guy with unparalleled vision. And on the other, Cristiano Ronaldo, the absolute embodiment of physicality, ruthless self-improvement, and sheer will. When fans argue over the GOAT, they're really just arguing over which philosophy they value more. Do you want the natural artist or the machine who built himself from the ground up?
Section 3. Heartbreak on the world stage.
But here's the thing. Through all of that unmatched success, one prize sat empty outside his trophy cabinet. The timeline of his international career is basically defined by his proximity to it. We see incredible highs and totally devastating lows. He got agonizingly close right out of the gate in his 2006 debut, reaching the semifinals. We saw his incredible passion in 2016. Injured early in the Euro final, he's literally coaching from the sidelines in tears, willing his team to this historic victory. But juxtaposed with that are the heartbreaks, walking down the tunnel in tears after losing to Morocco in the 2022 quarterfinal. And ultimately, his final World Cup bow in 2026, ending in a really tough round of 16 exit against Spain. Impartially reporting on the aftermath of that 2026 run, it's wild to see how heavy public pressure collided with his attempts to defend his legacy. Right after the emotional exit against Spain, the 10-year anniversary of Portugal's 2016 Euro win happened to roll around. Ronaldo posted a celebratory photo of that triumph. Well, that led to a massive wave of online critics labeling him a sore loser. In response to all the intense scrutiny and the constant questions, Ronaldo publicly stated he had a clear conscience, and he argued that winning the Euro title is actually on the exact same level as winning a World Cup. It was this fascinating clash between a public demanding total victory and a legend fiercely protecting his life's work.
Section 4. What if Ronaldo won?
Which brings us to the emotional climax of our explainer. We have to ask the question that nobody can fully answer, but one that has fueled countless debates in pubs all over the globe. What if Portugal actually won the World Cup? Step out of reality with me for a second and just picture it. Imagine the stadium packed to the brim, the deafening roar of the crowd, the confetti falling in green and gold as Ronaldo finally lifts that trophy into the sky. If that actually happened, what changes?
The ripple effects would be absolutely massive. First off, the strongest argument used against him in the GOAT debate, the simple sentence, "he never won the World Cup," disappears overnight. Just gone. Massive sponsors like Nike would instantly rebrand his narrative. He's no longer the relentless chaser, he's the man who finished the job. A nation of just 10 million people, Portugal, sees its football identity permanently elevated alongside giants like Brazil and Germany. And maybe most importantly, the debate between him and Messi wouldn't be decided by a missing trophy anymore. The GOAT debate would be decided purely by stylistic preference, not by an absence.
Section 5. The Human Contradiction. But, bringing us back down to reality, his story doesn't end with that perfect cinematic triumph. And honestly, maybe that makes his story even more compelling. We're left with this deeply human contradiction about ambition, perfectionism, and the circumstances that are just beyond sheer willpower. Ronaldo proved time and time again that he could literally force his will upon a football match. But the World Cup? It's a brutal, unpredictable tournament. It requires 11 men peaking at the exact right moment, a little bit of luck, and perfect timing. It is the one single thing his individual brilliance couldn't completely control. His legacy is one of the most complete in sporting history, yet it forever carries a scar shaped exactly like a golden trophy. So I want to leave you with this final thought to debate down in the comments. If he had lifted that trophy, would a World Cup truly end the GOAT debate, or would it just change it? Would we just find a new metric to argue about? Because, maybe the true beauty of this rivalry and of Ronaldo's relentless pursuit is that the debate never truly ends. Thanks for hanging out for today's explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.